Hi, this is Angie here at Abundant Acres Homestead, and this week we kind of seem to be on like the challenge road, so we're just gonna keep going with that. Today's challenge was issued by Sherry over at Southern Roots, and hers is Southern Roots Chili Challenge. I think I got that right. Okay, so everybody has their own way of making chili, right? Well, Sherry has put up a challenge for everybody to show the way that they make their chili. So that's what I'm going to do today, and I couldn't have picked a more perfect day because it's rainy and it's cold and it's just outside. So today is the perfect day for chili, and it's our first pot of chili for the year. So, yeah. Okay, let's just get into it. So for my chili, it actually starts the night before. I don't just wake up that morning and start making chili. I actually have to start ours the night before because we grow our own red beans, and you don't want to just throw red beans, dried red beans, in your chili sauce. So the night before, I take my red beans and I put them in a bowl, put them in the water, and I let them soak overnight. So for my chili, the red beans probably get the most attention. So I'm just going to get going on it. And yeah, so I've had the red beans soaking overnight. And now I'm going to just pull, because some of them start floating and you want to get those off. Drain them, and then we got to boil them. Now some people just use their beans that way. They would turn them down and finish cooking them off that way. But for me, I prefer to take them out, drain them again, and rinse them off real good. Now I'm doing it just to be safe because I know beans have something in them. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. But if you're doing dried beans and you don't rinse and you don't get it out good enough, you can end up with some pretty bad digestion issues. So I always play it safe. And I soak them overnight, drain them, put them on the stove, boil them, and then drain them again. And now I will get to what I'm actually considering the cooking process of the beans. Okay, so that might be a bit much water, but I already got it in there, so I'm going to go ahead and go with it. Normally you would put this to a simmer, but I'm going to go ahead and bring the heat back up so it's cooking really well. So I'm putting it on a medium-high. And then I'll add my spices. I don't really do measuring, so I don't know how much to tell you that I put in, so. And I like a little bit of a smoky flavor, so I'm adding chipotle. I don't do measurements. I don't know how to cook by measurement. But I can tell you what's in it. I've got dried chopped onions, black pepper, chili powder, and then you just see me put the chipotle in. And right now I have it on a medium-high heat. And I'm going to bring that up to a boil. And then when it hits boil, I'm going to put a lid on it, put it on simmer, and let it simmer for about an hour. Okay, so I have a different way of cooking my meat. I know a lot of people fry theirs. This is a little bit of a healthier way of doing it. And it works if you forgot to take your meat out of the freezer. But I boil it. And when you boil it, you are able to drain off the excess. I mean, I know you can drain off the excess when you fry your meat hamburger. That's what I'm using anyway, is ground beef. So obviously if you fry your hamburger, you can drain off the meat that way too. But if you boil it, you will get even more of the fat off. So it's a little bit healthier. But also, like I said, if you forgot to take your hamburger out, you can boil it. Okay, and here we go. We got it cooked and all drained off, and I'm just gonna chop it up because I don't like the huge chunks in my chili. Okay, so they have the hamburger cooked down, it's drained, the beans are cooked down. Just gonna pretty much combine everything together. Yeah, frozen onions. We had got some onions, not a whole bunch, but we got a few onions. So the way I chose to store them, I just went ahead and cut them up, diced them up and everything, and then just put them in the freezer for meals like this. So it's just already cut up, easy, ready to go. And we're using homemade tomato juice. Didn't get a whole lot of tomatoes that I liked this year. They didn't grow very well, but we did get some, so some's better than none. Okay, now for the spices. I'm gonna be using garlic. Unfortunately, it's not homegrown garlic because we switched our garden from last year and we didn't get our own garlic, and I actually just planted garlic in that video there. So I will have our own garlic next year, but for this year, it's store-bought. A little bit of black pepper. And just because I'm putting it in like this doesn't mean that throughout the day as I taste it that I won't be adding to it. So I usually go light in the beginning, or what I think is gonna be needed, and then I can always add more to it. Obviously it's easier to add to than to try to change the whole thing up. So garlic, chili powder, a little bit of cumin. I'm gonna be a little light on that just because you get a little heavy sometimes on that. Well, I can tend to get a little heavy. A little bit of Himalayan salt. And some oregano. I would prefer to have oregano leaves, but our oregano did not turn out well this year, so it says it's oregano leaves, but it's more like ground oregano. So yeah, but this is what it looks like. Just stir it all in there. I can kind of tell by looking at it that I'm probably going to be adding more onions, but we like it really oniony. Matter of fact, I'm probably just going to go ahead and throw some dried onion in there, a good chunk of it. I like onions. And then I'm just going to put it on simmer. Put a lid on it, let it cook throughout the day. I'll be stirring it off and on throughout the day and taste testing. And if I add any more, I'll let you guys know. But for now, that's it. We're just gonna let it cook and show you the results. It's been going for a little bit. Just did my taste test. Tomatoes kind of overtaken the flavor. So I'm gonna add some beef bouillon to give it more of that meaty, thicker flavor I'm looking for. And again, this is something that can go a little too heavy on at once. So I will be checking back off and on and adding this as needed if I need any more. What that'll do is just give it more of that meaty, beefy flavor, because especially if you do your own homemade tomato sauce, you can have that real acidic taste and flavor. So this is a good way to balance it out, especially for chili. Okay, so got the chili done. It's been cooking all day. There's usually a couple ways we eat chili. Sometimes we put it over spaghetti. Sometimes we put different pasta in, and then I call it goulash. Sometimes we put rice in it. But yeah, tonight it's just going to be plain old chili, and maybe we'll use the leftovers for the other stuff. But for tonight, it's just chili with a little bit of cheese. What's your favorite way to eat chili? Do you put it over pasta or rice, or you just eat it straight up? Let us know in the comment section. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And again, I just want to thank Sherry over at Southern Roots for issuing the challenge and giving me a great idea for dinner tonight.